Hello everyone, welcome to the session. In this session we will see how Filebeat works. Let's begin our session. So for this session I'm using Filebeat 6.8.23. So please download this version, and to know how to download I have already created a video on this. So this is the channel, and under this ELK playlist you will find that video, softwares for ELK stack, and in this software I have also mentioned about Filebeat, how to download that particular software. So please refer to this video. Here I have downloaded the Filebeat 6.8.23 in zip form, and then I have unzipped it, and this is the unzip, and this is the structure of the Filebeat software, how it look like. Here the main important file is Filebeat configuration file. This is the configuration file which contains all the configuration related to input output, and this I have also pasted here the screenshot of it. So this is similar to this. So let's have a look at this configuration file, what all things it contains. So this file, the name of configuration file is the filebeat.yml. So it is the default configuration file name. You can use any name of your choice. So here it contains mainly the two things, inputs and output. For this demo purpose I am using two input type log, and the first input is reading the file from this particular path, log.txt log file. You can see this is here, this. So the Filebeat will read data from this file if this configuration is enabled. In the second configuration, so this is the wild card configuration. So it will read, Filebeat will read the data from all the files present in this particular folder. So let's talk about more on this first configuration, the input type log. Input type log means you are reading, or Filebeat reading the data from the log file. Let's see the other properties enabled. So this is to enable this particular input type configuration. So at the moment it's disabled, I am going to enable it, and I am making second as a false. So I have disabled the second configuration and enabled the first. So it's not like only one configuration can be enabled, you can enable more than two configuration also. Just for the clarity or just to avoid any confusion, I am using one input type at a time. So here this is enabled. To enable particular, this is path. So this contains the actually the log file path. Field actually this is to use or to add the custom field in the Filebeat output. So here I have added one field called log, and value having true. Scan frequency, the time after which the Filebeat will scan that particular log file to get the record or to get the updated record. So this is the, so every 5 seconds a Filebeat will check the log file to get the record. Exclude lines. So here, so any line starting with the dbg will not be part of the Filebeat. Encoding, I am using here UTF-8, and close inactive is the one which is related to harvester. So this thing I also mentioned in the theory session of the Filebeat. So here the video already present Filebeat in ELK stack. You can refer this video to get more details about the Filebeat. The configuration related to this particular configuration valid for this, and this is for applicable for this. So here output, I have mentioned two output, one is the console, another the logstash. So as starting of the video I mentioned that we will be sending the data to the console or the command prompt. So that's why this is enabled and this is disabled. So one thing we need to keep in mind that at a time only one output can be enabled at max, but we can put more than one output and make them disabled, and make only one output type as a enabled. So here I have enabled the console. So Filebeat will send the data to a console. So these are the important commands I have given here. So first is to test the configuration file. So like this is the configuration file we are using, filebeat.yml. I mentioned the command here also. So let's launch. So what we need to do is we need to go this here where we are unzipped, and we need to command prompt, and we need to use this. So this is filebeat test config and filebeat.yml, the name of the configuration file. So this is the basically variable here. So if you are using different file name, then you can mention that file name here. So let's see. The configuration file is okay. Now we will start our filebeat. So for the filebeat, starting the filebeat, we will use this command. This is to debug the filebeat. So basically this is to print the log in the console. This is to just don't, if you don't want to print anything in the log, then so for that you can use filebeat. I want to print the, you can use filebeat.exe as well. I want to print the log. Since I'm using my configuration file name is filebeat.yml, so this is the default configuration file name, so we don't have to mention here, it will take automatically. And the path of the configuration is here. Just so let's start this. So and what is the log file path? This is the log file. So let me, this might be old data, so so you can see. So one thing is important, as I mentioned in the theory session, that for every this file one harvester is started. So here you can see just I have started the file, you can see harvester started for this. Okay, now this is the output of, so file, as we started the filebeat has picked up the data from the log file, the which we have entered. This is the data of log file, and this is how the filebeat output look like. So in which field this particular line is coming, so there is a field called message. This, it contains that data. So by default filebeat read the data line by line. Let me also do something. Hello, yeah, you can see this is the for hello, and this should be for hi. So there were two lines which were not, there were two lines in that log file, there were two lines in that log file. So filebeat has picked up those lines and sent it to console. Where is that message? This is hi. Okay, so now let's see, let's few words about this output. So by default it is the timestamp, it is by default coming, and the time is in the UTC. This is the metadata, this is also a default field. It contains the filebeat name, the type and version of the filebeat. This is the source file from where the filebeat has got this data. The fields, this is the important, the fields with this is which we have added in the configuration file. This, so this is field, and this is again, this is the input type. This, so this is how the output look like. Now this point is important. You can see in the theory session we mentioned one property called fields under root. So if we are mentioning, so here in this first configuration we have not used this because I wanted to show that the uh, I mean the difference between if we are not using this. So this field is basically here in this first configuration we are not using, so you can see how it looking like. Sorry, you can see, so log, that custom field is part of that fields object. Okay, but when we use this particular property, then that log field or custom field will not be part of this fields object. It will be part of the root JSON. We will see that also when we will enable this, the second configuration. Right now it is disabled. So this is how it works. Now one thing I also want to highlight is you can see file is inactive after 1 second, after one, this file is inactive, closing because close inactive of 1 minute reached. So this is coming from this configuration. So what does this means is, so harvester is the component which actually reading the data from the log file. So harvester is closed if file content is not updated before this time is expired. So if file content is not updated within 1 minute from last harvesting time, so let me update the file. So right now harvester is closed. When we will update, it will be again active. You will see, yeah, you can see here harvester started. If log file is not updated within 1 minute, then the harvester will be closed. So that is the importance of this particular close inactive field. Let's wait for the 1 minute. You will see that particular message that file is inactive and that close inactive is expired, so it is getting closed. Harvester is getting closed. File is inactive because one minute is expired and file is not updated within 1 minute. If you update again, it will be, the harvester will be open again. This is how. So these are the important properties. The input, you can use any number of inputs. Here I am using 2 input type. Now we will see this also. DBG, if line is starting with DBG, it will not be printed in the console because Filebeat will ignore that. DBG, hey, okay, and line is after high. Let's see if it is picking or not. Let's see if it is picking or not. You can see it has only picked after high. It has not picked that line because it has started, because it is getting started with DBG. So this is the importance of this flag exclude lines. About the output console, so logstash is disabled, console is enabled, and PT is to format that output like it is coming in this particular format JSON with that proper formatting. So this is how the Filebeat works, how it send the data to the output. Let me make it false to disable it. To enable it, I'm going to enable this. So here this Filebeat will get the data from this folder, so it will read the data from all files present in this folder. Now let's see this, how many files are present. I already explained, 2 log1 log2, 2 files. So let me close this. I will launch this again. Okay, so Filebeat, you can use .exe or without .exe. So let's see. So there are 2, log1 and log2. So let me remove this. This is old data, already got read. So let me give this log1 log2. You will see, yeah, this is the harvester started for this log1 txt file. It is started only for this file log1. Why it is not started for log2? Because in the configuration we have mentioned exclude line, this the line which is having the extension dot, which is having extension log. So this file log2 is having the extension log. So that's why the harvester on Filebeat has not started the harvester for this. Okay, so this property should be clear now. Include line. So yeah, one more thing. Harvester is already started for this, but it has not picked the line from the log1, because in the configuration we have mentioned it will include only that line which is starting with ERR. That's why no line starting with the ERR. That's why it has not picked this line. So let me pick good something. It should pick. Every 5 seconds. So here also every 5 seconds the Filebeat is scanning the data, scanning the log file. Every 5 seconds the Filebeat is scanning the log file. If there is any change in the log file content, it will read that data. So here also, now see, yeah, it has picked now what ERR, because so our configuration is working fine. Our rest path would be similar to the first one. So here also you can see this configuration. I wanted to show this. It is true, we were not using in the first type log, just for to differentiate it. So log2, now let's see how log2 look like. You can see now in the first configuration the log was, the custom variable was part of the fields object. Here it is not part of the field of, here it is not part of the fields object, it is part of the root of the JSON. So this is the difference of when we are using that particular property. So in this particular demo we have covered most of the important properties: enabled path, fields, scan frequency. So scan frequency, every 5 seconds Filebeat will check the log file and see if anything is added new in that log file, it will read. Close inactive. So you can also refer the video which I created on the theory. So you can refer this video. In the next session we will see the multi-line configuration, which is very much important to read the exception or to read the stack trace in Java application. So we will see that multi-line. One more thing, I think I already mentioned this. If you are not using the default name of the file, filebeat.yml, then you will have to use this. So let me check. Let me close this. So let me close this and I will rename this filebeat2. Okay. So now I will have to restart. If you are using filebeat error loading config file, the system cannot find the file. So it is not able to find this because it is not present there. I had renamed, and no file is present with this name filebeat.demo because this is the default. So what now, you need to give the file name filebeat _2.yml with the -c. This, it will load. Oh sorry, the command, yeah, you can see this loaded, the Filebeat has started. So this is how, when you have a any other name, you have named your configuration file other than filebeat.yml, then you can use this -c. So -e is to run the filebeat in debug mode. So in debug mode it will print the log in the console like this, and if you are not using -e, it will not print anything, I mean this log, but it will print the output. So like this, suppose I have not used, you will see this. Let me update something here. ERR testing. Yeah, now you can see I have started without -e, so the log is not present, but the output is present. Output is getting printed. So this is how the configuration look like, how it works. Let me rename this also. So this is how. To understand more on this, please go through this video. Also all the video related to ELK, you will get good understanding of ELK application. So in the next session or next video, I will talk about multi-line configuration with the demo. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.